Hey everybody, nice to see you all again, even though I can't actually see you through the camera. That would be what video conferencing is, and that's what we're not doing. So I mean, I don't know I don't know what your other professors are doing because of the whole online thing. I know some people are trying to do WebEx, but I just don't think it's not a bad idea, but I don't think it's the best one. I don't think we're playing to the strengths of online if we do that. Because online strength is its flexibility, and that it can meet new, varying schedules, though I imagine a lot of people's schedules are more open. But a lot of people just don't have the internet connection to be on a big video call like that. I don't think there's anything gained by meeting during the regular class time if we're online. I don't think it accurately recreates sort of like the classroom setting. So if we can't do that, why, instead of having, like a watered down version of the classroom setting, let's do something else. Let's do something that fits the medium we're using to teach better. So that's what I'm going to do here. Always wanted to be a YouTuber. Glad I can be a big YouTube personality. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell. That's it, right? I'm pretty sure. You can't tell me. That's not how it works. Okay, I already brought that up twice. Off to a good start. But this is just kind of what we're going to be doing instead for our face-to-face interaction. Yeah. I'm gonna cut this part. In terms of what we're actually doing for the course, once a week, there's going to be a video like this, explaining what we're doing for the week, what the goals are, what's going to come next, that sort of thing, just like a brief video. And then after I explain just kind of what's going on, just a general sort of heads up as to what we're doing, I'll go into more detail about course assignments and stuff like that. There will be descriptions on the assignments and on the Canvas pages. But sometimes, you paid for in-person instruction. Well, that's not quite what you're getting. We'll try to recreate it as best we can. So I'll just go through the assignments verbally, explain things a few different ways if I think something's like just something that's kind of hard to explain, or just clarify what I want exactly. Also just give background information on readings and stuff like that. As far as specific assignments, we're not doing the recitation. I think everything else is going to kind of continue as normal. Reading responses should be fine to go on as whatever. It's not affected too much. So next week we're reading Citizen by Claudia Rankine. For that, you can do 2 reading responses on that book. And then sometime later we're reading Bluets by Maggie Nelson. And you can also do 2 reading responses on that. Since it's a whole book, you can definitely do 2. You can definitely write about that more. So those will continue as usual. After we read Claudia Rankine next week, we're going to do 3 weeks of poetic terms and rhetoric and stuff like that. That culminates in a quiz, test, quiz, whatever, which will be administered through Canvas. That won't work too bad. You may be hearing a small meow. I don't know if it's being picked up through the camera. It's my horrible cat. So let's see the cat for a second. So here's the cat. His name's Jasper. He will be the bane of my existence. Well, he is the bane of my existence anyway, but I'm sure he'll continue to do that. He hates being shut out of rooms, so he screams at the door whenever he's not allowed in or out. What are you doing? Say hi to everyone. Oh no, I'm being attacked. But so that's Jasper. I'm sure he'll be a reoccurring figure in the videos. What was I saying? No recitations, reading responses will go on as normal. You can do 2 a week for the weeks where all we do is just read a book. Those will be Citizen and Bluets. In terms of workshop, we're going to be doing that through Canvas's peer review function. It works pretty well. You get to see, I don't know if any of you have used in class before, but basically you get a lot of tools to annotate and do stuff like that. In terms of folio number 2, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. I'm going to poll all of you and see what we would like best. We might be able to have a one-on-one WebEx conference, which is a lot easier to manage than the whole classroom. Or I can do a thing where I just, you won't see me, but you'll just get a video of me going through your poems on the computer, and I'll be talking to it and explaining things and asking questions. So it's kind of like an in-person conference, but you don't get to ask questions, but we'll work out something for questions, which is what the one-on-one conference would do. In terms of office hours, I'm thinking of having an ongoing WebEx meeting every week. Just like, you know, my office hours right now are just, it's the hour after class on Wednesday, but I might expand that a little more to wherever I'm free that week, or like, you know, definitely like a consistent time frame, but also more. See how that works. If WebEx doesn't work, we can do Skype or you know, something else like that. Final portfolio, I think, is going to be basically unchanged. I don't see why there would be anything in there that would have to change. And that's all the big assignments I have written down. I have a new adjusted course calendar on Canvas that you can look at. It's on the page for the week of March 23rd, 2020. Also, a brief overview of Citizen. So I think that's all the general course stuff. Feel free to email me, or I guess you can leave comments on this video if you have any questions. Gotta get those metrics up. But it's pretty simple. It's like everything's going crazy. We don't know if we're gonna go to a full quarantine or the shelter in place is what it's called, I think, where it's like don't leave your house or whatever, you know, stuff like that. So next week it's pretty simple. Read all of Citizen. I've scanned it as a PDF. Here's the physical book, and I just want to talk a little bit about the book as an artifact before I explain the discussion posts more. It's a nice book. I like it a lot. Okay, that's it. No. So Claudia Rankine, it's a book about racial injustice in America. You'll see the subtitle of An American Lyric, Claudia Rankine. I won the National Book Award in 2014, I think, or 2016. I think it was 2014. Maybe 2015. That's not helpful. But it's a very sort of, you know, sonnets or squares is like how you recognize sonnets. It's a very kind of square-looking and sturdy book, which I like a lot. And the paper is very thick and glossy for an important reason, because it's a multimedia work. So it's all printed on photo paper. So you'll see pages like this as you read it. This is quote from Zora Neale Hurston. It says, "I do not always feel colored. I feel most colored. I feel most colored when I am thrown against a sharp white background." She wrote, "Their eyes are watching God." Here's another one. Here's another spread. So you'll have big spreads like that. And also things that just sort of pop in at the end of poems, like this. I just imagine, what if instead of a PDF it was a video of me just holding the book like this, and like every minute I turn a page? That would be that would be the worst. The pictures are important. They add a lot to it. Keep in mind when you see one, just like, why is this here? Why did she include this? That sort of thing. They're mostly prose poems, though it is actually, what is this classified as? On the back of the book, it's labeled as poetry/essays, so this is kind of a blend of creative nonfiction, or I guess you could just say nonfiction for this one, and poetry. So prose poems, micro-essays, we're kind of on the border of genre here. As you get farther in the book, it does get a little more poetic. You can't see that at all, but it's just there's some like actually enjammed lines there. So there's that. Yeah. We'll be reading it all next week. It's only 160 pages. You have the whole week to do it. It's available now if you want to get a head started on the weekend. For the discussion posts, one is due Wednesday, the other is due Friday. They're both due at midnight. The questions aren't the same, but the concept's the same. I have 4 or 5 questions on each post. You choose one and answer it in about 350 words. Once you're done with that, you reply to someone else's answer. You've done discussion boards before, I'm sure. Yeah, if you don't like any of those questions, you can strike out on your own question. Just be sure to clearly mark at the top, like, this is the question, like, this is the thing that really interests me about Citizen, and this is what I'm exploring. Make sure it's a question you can get 350 good words about. I'm not looking for, like, a super formal academic tone, but also, don't don't spend 200 words, like, I don't know, talking about your cat or something like that. Yeah, that's basically the discussion posts. After that, we're going to be having similarly weekly assignments, which I mentioned earlier. This is just a more flexible class model that I think will serve us better in the coming times, as we just really don't know what's going to happen. It's really an unprecedented crisis, and we'll be seeing how it turns out. If you can, order from your local Chinese place or go to Asian groceries. You know, support the people that are really being hit by this the most. I would say drink Corona beer, but it's not very good, so probably just drink water, stay hydrated. That's pretty much it. Friday poems. I think I mentioned Friday poems. They'll be continuing as usual. With everything happening, I skipped them. I just didn't create the assignment because everything was kind of going to hell. We'll have 4 or 5 more instances of those. There will be prompts. It'll be as usual. And the new weeks that they're going to be due are on the revised syllabus. So, yeah. I hope you're all doing safe. I hope you're all doing good. I hope my horrible, nasty son is not committing sin right now. I call them sins because he knows he's not supposed to do them, but he does them anyway. And he revels in it. He really does. Yeah. Please feel free to email me. Send a message on Canvas, any way you can get in contact if you have any questions or concerns about your ability to do class online, that sort of thing. We can set up an individual WebEx meeting. But yeah, I hope you all stay safe. Have a good week. Say hi. Say hi. Don't want to? Say hi. Do you see yourself? Oh. Okay.